We have some other things to discuss here, though. We welcome back Dr. Joe McGinley from the McGinley Clinic. I say welcome back because this guy was busy trying to climb Mount Everest. I don't even mean that in a figurative sense. I mean it literally. We're going to save that convo to next week when you join us in the relatively low for you elevation of Colorado. The other big feat here is Jet Lawrence. You saw it last week, returned just over 3 months off of ACL surgery, wins the race. What are these athletes doing to speed up the process, Joe?
Well, first, it's incredible to see Jet back doing as well as he's doing. We talked about it a little bit on the SMX Insider podcast. I fully expected him to be back for the Nationals. What we're seeing with a lot of the riders, they're pushing that time limit. It's not necessarily the surgeries that are getting him back. It's all the post-treatment care that they're receiving. There's all type of new technologies out there. There's cell therapies, there's cold therapy, laser therapy, ultrasound therapies. It's all of that that's helping to accelerate the healing beyond what is typically expected. Now, is that ACL knee fully healed? I doubt it. Okay. It still is just going to take some physical time. But he obviously is out there, is performing at an incredible level. We're seeing that limit get pushed much more frequently with the riders.
But you don't think he's at risk then, even though it's not maybe fully healed?
No, obviously, if it's gonna be in a crash, that's gonna be a little bit weaker than normal. So there's always a chance that you can re-tear it in that situation. But if all goes well, he's out there riding. He's at no increased risk compared to other riders out there. So yeah, with an injury, yes, it's a little bit weaker. It has a higher chance of tearing, but I don't expect that to impact him while he's out there racing.
Now, is it the ligament or is it the muscles around the weaker part is the risk?
Yeah, typically with the ligament, they do a reconstruction. They do anchors into the bone. So you need that physical healing of the anchors into the bone to stabilize that ligament. Yes, you do have a healing of the muscle and tissue as they go through it, but it's more that physical healing. It just takes time for the bone to heal and for that graft to stabilize inside there.
I gotcha. Okay. And I would say the biggest difference between motocross, supercross compared to football is just the stop and go. So. We don't have that instant stop on these. That's why we were able to get back so quickly.
That's absolutely correct. They would never have an NFL player out there at 3 to 4 months. It just, the ACL wouldn't hold up. On average, they're 7 to 8 months before they even think about getting them back out there. A little bit different sport, a little bit different stresses on there. With the NFL running backs, they're running at a high speed and cutting. That's an extreme amount of force on that ACL and ACL graft. It's unlikely to hold up in that situation. Whereas with motocross, if all's going well, you're more in a straight line. Yes, you're using the knee, but you're not putting those extreme forces on like you see with the NFL players.
Gotcha. Now, the question on holding up today is going to be dealing with the heat. It is projected to go into the triple digits. So what's some advice you would give to an athlete for a race like this?
Well, I'm coming from the other extreme of temperature.
Oh,
so
climbing in ice?
we're in about negative 30 temperature. So coming out here, man, I'm struggling with this temperature. I can't imagine what the riders are doing. But yes, there's a lot you can do. One is preparation. The top pros, they're training in areas where they're dealing with heat and humidity. That's going to be your best bet. Once you're here at the races, trying to maintain that body temperature, make sure you're keeping that body temperature down. So in between motos, you're going to see riders in ice baths, you're going to see ice towels, things like that. One of the things you have to worry about is dehydration. They're going to be sweating a lot. The heat's miserable really out there. So making sure that they're not losing too much body weight, making sure they're keeping those electrolytes on them and keeping that body temperature cool. That's really the number one thing. You can get heat exhaustion. It's more likely with the fans than the riders, believe it or not. But, you can start getting dizziness, imbalance, confusion even with heat exhaustion. And that is a risk out there. But, again, these are all top pros. They have great trainers. They have great teams. It's not going to be fun for a lot of them, but, hey, they're going to manage it. They're going to do well out there.
Yeah, maybe the fans not quite preparing the same way. James, did you do certain things the week leading to an extra hot race to try to prepare it just – more fluids or anything like that?
Yeah, more pickle juice, really.
Pickle juice?
Yeah, no. We had some backwards. We're from the South, so
okay.
You need some energy, some sugar water. My dad's old school. But, yeah, I did notice, like, if you showed up at the race and you're trying to hydrate, it's too late. It's too late. And so I just always tried to make sure I paid attention to the signs, dry lips, dry skin, just trying to, as doctors say, just keep your body, hydrated before you get here and just, keep it topped off. So, I was old school. I didn't have the ice baths. I didn't do any of that stuff. But, technology is a lot different these days.
Well, going even further back, Dr. Joe, I think the riders used to say, like, oh, don't turn the air conditioning on at the hotel to acclimate yourself. it's come a long way from that theory.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as James said, I mean, if you're at that point, it's a little bit too late.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing that at the hotel before the races, listen, it might mentally help you, but it's not going to help with the heat. There's a lot of preparation. Just like you can acclimatize to high altitude of mountains, you can acclimatize to heat. And making sure that the fluids are set, making sure the nutrients are set, your electrolytes, and then cooling is a big deal to make sure that you're prepared to go out there and race strong for the entire day today. It's going to be a long day. It's only getting hotter. We may see some of the guys fade, but listen, this is the elite of riders, so they have great trainers. They're really pushing the edge on heat preparation.
Yeah. You were not. You were doing the exact opposite, like you said. We will ask you about the Everest trip next weekend when you get back in here when we're in Colorado. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll talk to you also on SMX Insider, our show that airs every Thursday on the Super Motocross YouTube. Thanks, Dr. Joe.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep.